Hello, my scrappy friends. It is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for a Kidaholics Kids Design Team layout. So straight off the bat, this layout is a scrap lift of the amazing Alison Davis. Just, so much skill, so much talent, so much designs, and I loved it. It was just a beautiful way to showcase the papers. It was a really nice way to get a few multiple photos on. It used as much or as little as ephemera as you wanted. It had hand stitching. Look, it just had all the things. You may notice that a couple of these papers are not actually from the kit. Because I only needed such a small amount of paper to make the triangles, they are 3x3 squares. I did sneak some paper from my scrap bin just to prevent me having to cut a whole piece of paper just to get a 3x3 square out of it. There are 9 different 3x3 squares that I cut in half into triangles and mix-matched them in various, like no rhyme or reason, just various words, Jessica, words. They're not the same. No two are the same. So even though there are 2 watermelon papers, they are not matched with the same other piece. Gosh, why was that such a difficult sentence to say? I then actually cut my photos too small by accident, in that I'd already cut the photos down to different sizes before I decided what the layout was going to be. I played around with this quite a while before I settled on this one after going to Pinterest for some inspiration, because I was really struggling. I was actually truly struggling with the photos themselves. They are not very good. I like to document one 12x12 photo per week, and this was a really slow week. You would think it wouldn't be. It was Mother's Day. You would think that I would have had photos. We didn't. We have none. We did not take a single photo from Mother's Day except for these, which was my son's Auskick game. The mums joined in to play to celebrate Mother's Day. And that picture of Tommy and I that's not even on the page yet, that's on the left-hand side, is super cute. But my husband took it from far away, and the full photo actually is more focused on another child running across in front of us than it is on us. We're sort of in the background. The photo that's already made it on the page is like the pack. And in the end, you might be able to tell in the close-ups, but you can't really tell. But in the end, I cut Thomas out of another photo and stuck him on top of the pack of children. So you can't, he just looks like he's part of the pack. And then I'm in the background of it to show that we're all playing one football game together. Because my husband literally took three photos, and they were pretty much all terrible. And that was it. I don't think we took a single other photo in the entire week. Now, I don't have to document this as a 12x12. I can skip a week. That's totally fine. It's not like rules aren't made to be broken or anything like that. But it's also kind of nice to document Mother's Day, and this was something that we did on Mother's Day. Thomas was super excited about having me not just come to Auskick, but to actually play. Normally it's a kids team versus another kids team, but this time it was all the kids versus the mums. So it was special. So I definitely did want to document it. I just had terrible photos to work with. So in the end, this layout is much more about the ephemera and the papers and the other things than it is about the photos, which is kind of unusual when you're making a layout, in my opinion, because the layouts are to complement the photos. But that's okay. We work with what we've got. That is a kind of cute photo of Thomas running around on the field. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, it is what it is. So I cut all my papers. You can see that they're all brown on the back. I just got a normal piece of photocopy paper, but in the color brown, and cut those into 3x3 squares as well, just to give me a base to work from, to adhere the triangles to. So then when I stuck both the triangles together, it made a full square, and then I hand stitched through all of it, and I color matched my hand stitching as closely as I could with the papers. My grandma, the boy's great grandma, gave me a whole bunch of crochet thread when Mum was cleaning out the house. She said, we don't really need it, it'll go to the op shop. Or if you would like it, and of course, because I like to stitch, I did choose to keep it. So I've got a whole bunch of colours that was just perfect timing and a perfect fit for so many of these colours here in this kit. It did take a little bit of time to stitch those on, but super simple, just around in a triangle, so that was nice and easy back stitching. I also used a lot of the acetate pieces that came in the ephemera pack. Acetate can be really tricky because you can see the glue through the acetate. I'm kind of over it. It's so hard. You use wet glue and the acetate rolls up. You use like the ATG gun and you can see through it. You use the glue dots and you can see those too. So usually I just use my ATG gun anyway, but I try not to use too much. I know if you use wet glue and put it across the entire piece of acetate and then sort of press the acetate on so it doesn't roll up, that's the best way of not being able to see the glue, I believe. But it just takes so much time and it's messy on your fingers and stuff. So I just go with just a tiny little spot of tape glue, so like a glue dot or an ATG dot, and just roll with it. I try and put it in a spot that's kind of a bit busy. There's some foiling on these paper on these acetate pieces, so I just try and put the glue where the foiling is because you're less likely to see it. What else can I tell you? I also, you can see right there, layered the acetate behind. I also went a little bit crazy with ephemera, to be fair. Like that just right there looks beautiful and I could absolutely stop. You don't need to go quite so ridiculous as I did, but I just decided to put everything on because why not? Why not use all the things? Again, I could have stopped now. Even these would have been enough, but I put random bowling pins on there anyway. I just thought I won't really have a need for the bowling pins on any other time, and this is sport related, so why not? If you can't guess, which you might not be able to, I am leaving that middle square empty at the moment because it is where my title is going to go. At this point in time, I literally have not a clue what my title is. I also left this square till last because it's my favourite. Is that a silly reason to leave a square till last? I don't know, but it's my favourite. I loved that car and I was determined to get that car onto any layout. I didn't care that it didn't relate. I just thought it was super cute and I was definitely getting it on there. So I loved it. I also thought that the colour wheel was fun as well. Popping up the little flowers on a bit of foam because I thought I would layer it underneath the car, but then realised that I'm very quickly running out of space on the square, so it really needs to be off the square, so it'll be popped up on foam. I don't know, I just think it's such a cute little square with that little car on it. And then that makes this layout pretty much done in terms of all of those bits and bobs. I am going to pull out some of the enamel dots because we know that they're my favourite. And then, of course, we need some splatters because we can't have a layout without splatters. I did pull this title out of my stash. I really didn't know what to write. You know, you could obviously write a title that really describes the day, you know, Mum and Tom's Auskick game or something like that, like Mother's Day at Auskick, like a lot of words. But I usually do put journaling, not usually, I put journaling onto my pages. I just do it later. I write it up on my computer and print it out, and then I cut it in a long strip. And then I cut those strips up as needed. Sometimes I just leave them as a long A4 strip and just glue it. In this case, I'm probably going to do that and glue it in one long line straight down along the bottom underneath, directly underneath the squares. You also could have put it in the top right-hand square where I've got those three just word phrases. I'm pretty sure that's where Alison Davis put hers in her example. But yeah, I'll just do it later. So I didn't necessarily need a title that explains what's happening because my journaling will definitely do that. So I decided to just go with Let's Go. It works for multiple things, and I liked that it was black, and I liked that it fitted in the square perfectly, so I just rolled with it. To tie in the black, I did also do a few little black splatters as well, because there's not really much black, other bits of black going on the page. So that was this layout. I hope you enjoyed watching along. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I will see you all next time. I hope you have a really happy, scrappy week. I know this was a bit of a long one. Thanks, guys.